Thank you for being here. And just Nick, can you just play the intro to the virtual conference for me real quick for everybody? Yep. I just want to share with everyone what I'm up to next week.
Un momento, por favor.
Come on.
Are you ready to transform?
Oh, what happened?
Are you ready to transform your life and make an impact on the world? Welcome to the Legends Impact Summit. Get ready to be blown away by our phenomenal line of speakers who have dedicated their lives to helping others reach their full potential. You're going to meet people like Paula Taha, the podcast princess, Robert Martinez, Vina Jetty, our celebrity guests that are all self-made millionaires with over $1 billion in real estate portfolio. They will share their secrets to their extraordinary success. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join the Legends Impact Summit and unleash the power within you. April 20th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific. Mark your calendars and get ready to embark on a journey that will change your life forever.
Yeah. Super.
Woo! Man, Grant Cardone got nothing on you. Hard Tony Robbins.
Okay, so hey, welcome everybody. This is Monday night. We're here again. Welcome. Nick, can you make sure that you let people into the room? I can't really see it from right here. So we have a really special guest tonight. He is a really good friend of mine. We gelled and we kicked it off right away, and I'm just really excited about bringing him on today. But before we get started, if it's your first time here, welcome. And I like to just set some ground rules, set some intentions for this call. And let's just begin by saying, be kind. Be kind. Kindness is something that comes from an authentic, genuine part of ourselves. It's distinct from being nice. You can fake being nice. Being kind is something that you have to genuinely be. So be kind in your thoughts, be kind in your words, be kind on video. Like our look, sometimes we can give an unkind look as well. So be in that way. Second, be here like you've paid $50,000 to be here, right? It's up to you to find the golden nuggets on this call today. I do these calls so that we can stay connected. It's an opportunity to network with people and, get to learn about different industries. We talk about multifamily here. We've talked about LinkedIn, social media stuff, podcasts. We'll talk about some of that today. We'll probably talk about some health. We've talked about marketing, CRMs, project management, all the different tools, taxes. Okay, I don't want to forget about that. There's taxes. We talk about taxes. All the things that are the people that I bring on are people that I know have implemented or have some tools and something to offer of value to everybody here. And so it's up to you to find it. It's up to you to connect with the people in this group to help you move your life forward, to get to the next step, to move the needle for yourself. So be here in that way. Be that engaged. Ask questions. Get known. Hold on. Who's got to be muted? All right.
I'm muted.
Thanks, Nick. And Nick is always, as usual, my right-hand person. He's my tech person here, and he's 16 years old. He's probably, we were just talking about it on the teens call before this, but probably got more knowledge in multifamily than 99% of the people that are out there. So this call, we could cover that. Now, be engaged. This call is going to come from you guys being engaged, asking questions, and providing value, not just for yourself and not just for me, but also for everybody else that is here. Every conversation, every question is a smart question. There are no dumb questions here. Okay, so that's the kind of guidelines to create a safe container here. Just be kind in your thoughts and be courageous. Be courageous to ask questions. Be courageous to talk to people and find somebody that you're meant to meet on this call. Make this person, finding this person, your $50,000 ticket. Okay, so that's the container we want to create. Now, a little bit about me and where this call came from. I have been doing real estate for about 18 years, maybe longer now. What am I, 37? Yeah, 19 years now. And when I say I started doing real estate, it doesn't mean that I did my first real estate deal 18 years ago. I started my journey there by picking up Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It gave me a whole new perspective in how I want to create financial freedom for myself and what is possible out there besides the 9-to-5 jobs, besides jobs in general. We were just talking about it on the teens call before that Nick was out here in Vegas and he's like, dude, you know, the skill that you got from delivering pizza is that you can fold pizza boxes faster than anybody else. It's a cool little thing, but you know, having that job wasn't, you know, didn't make or change my life at all. But doing real estate has. And it's given me the opportunity to go and travel around the world, live in different places. And that's what I did. You know, after my whole journey, I don't want to bore everybody with my whole journey, but I had my ups and downs. I fell on my face a couple times and I've gotten back up, you know, so I have the mental fortitude from those lessons definitely has attributed to the place that I'm at in real estate today. Okay. And sometimes when we focus on doing deals and doing real estate, like the doing this part of it is such a small part. It's the mindset that it takes. It's the character that's built. It's who you are as a person, as a teammate, and how you overcome challenges. Those are all parts of the tools for building an efficient, let's say, car, right? So if we are cars, we can focus on just the part that has the car run, or we can also focus on the comfort of the seat, the aerodynamics with the spoiler, the tires, everything that makes a car a great car. So part of this call is to help sharpen all of those skills too, because you want to sharpen your marketing, you want to sharpen your mindset, you want to sharpen project management, you want to sharpen real estate, taxes, you know, loans, debt, all different parts of it. You want to at least have some understanding of it and how the picture works together. So today we'll definitely talk about that. Now back to where I was living. I was living in Peru, okay, for about 9 months, almost a year. And I came back to the States. I was going to move to Peru for good. I was like, I'm moving here. This is great. I do $20,000 a month from real estate. I don't have to do anything. I live for $5,000 in Peru, which is actually really excessive. Okay. Like people were living on $400, $5, you know, a day over there, making $5 a day. So, you know, when I came back to the States, I actually went to a Publix in Florida. And I realized there something that changed me really forever. And the course in which I'm going, which is the lady, the cashier was, she had to have been like 85 years old. And she couldn't get up to help me bag. I bagged my own stuff. And it just really made me think that we're living in a country, the richest country in the world, the wealthiest country in the world. And we've kind of failed the elders, right? Like the elders came before us, they placed and they gave us everything we got here. And the promise that was given to them was that they could retire and that there was a pension fund or an IRA or something that they could invest into that they could retire on. But that was a big lie. And this is why there was so many, and everywhere I went, I saw the elders at Walmart. I saw the elders in in Publix, everywhere I went, it became a thing for me. And I'm like, this is a sign from God that I need to do something about this. I'm 36 years old, 37 now, but I'm 37 years old, and I could create this for myself through real estate and through all the learnings that I did. And now I'm doing it while other people are still struggling. What can I do now to make an impact? Right? Everything I do now is about making an impact. I interviewed a friend of mine today, Jennifer Barner, for everyone that knows her. And I asked her, I'm like, how do you find your mission and your purpose? Because I feel like I'm living mine. I'm about lifting other people. I'm about helping one person. If one person ends up not working at Publix because of one of these calls or because of my influence, I've done my job. Like, that's what I want to do. That's the impact I want to make. And she said, the way that you find out who you want to be is think about what you want people to say about you on your 80th birthday. When you're 80 years old, what are the adjectives that people are going to say about you? And and write it down. Write this as like a birthday card for yourself. And I just thought that was just such a powerful practice. I wanted to share that with you guys. You know, maybe take a couple minutes. This could be your $50,000 moment right here. That there's a practice that if you put into application today, on my 80th birthday, I want to be known as blank and blank, 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 all the other stuff. And if you can find those things, and it's probably going to be something, you're not going to say on my 80th birthday, I want to be remembered as an asshole, right? I'm pretty sure that's not going to be what you want to write on that. So you'll probably write something like, I want to be inspiring. I want to be remembered as somebody that was kind, that was joyful, that was exciting. What do you want to say? I trusted people. I helped people, right? Like do that as a little exercise. So I came back to the States and I decided that I had to start a call to teach people about real estate. And that's when this call was born. I mean, when this call was born, there was very little people on it. People weren't very interested. And as we grew to now, right now, 62 people, around this number is consistent every single Monday. So I want to appreciate and thank you guys for being here and continuously to make this something that's possible. Now, I want to also highlight a lot of the people that have the Legends background. You know, these people also believed in me and believed in the message. And together now I got partners. I got people that are helping me spread this message, helping me lift other people up. And all these people believed in this vision. And through multifamily investing, we can create financial freedom and we can change the lives of generations, of not just one person, but all their lineage, all the people to come. You can really break that chain, and it's possible for every single one of us. And it doesn't take a lifetime to create that financial freedom. I'm telling you that right now. It just takes getting started, right? The best time to plant a tree was, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, but the second best time is today. And real estate is the same thing. You know, some people might say I'm too young. Some people might say I'm too old. The important thing is about getting started, about moving forward. Okay, so yeah, and as you are on the come up, you want to find people that are on the come up with you. You need cheerleaders, you need supporters, you need allies that's going to help you make it happen. It's going to be much easier when you are surrounded by people that are going to help you. At a certain stage, when you get wealthy enough and when you've gotten far enough in the game, those people you're going to have to get on airplanes to be with, or you could be on these Zooms. But to be with them, you might have to get on the airplanes to go be with them. And I feel like that's where I am right now. And I'm so blessed. And I just so many friends that I have that I'm like, oh man, I get to go to Florida and visit this person. I get to go to San Diego and visit Chris. And I get to go around the country because those are the people I want to surround myself with. And so the guest that I have today, okay, he stole the show. When I posted a picture on Instagram, Okay. And some of you guys might have seen the flyer for this one as me flexing. I had to do it because when I posted that Instagram picture, literally everyone kept talking about his freaking muscles. So it's funny. So I had to do it. And it was actually great because it motivated me to double down on working out as well and getting fit. Right. I started really working hard with my trainer, and he's my inspiration. And I was like, dude, I want to put a picture of you on this thing flexing, because I never flex. It's a natural tricep pop. I started dying laughing because it's so true. His arm's just jacked for no reason. So let's bring on my friend here, Chris. Chris, you here with us? I see you right there.
Yeah, I'm here, Alex. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Hey, Nick, can you do me a favor and pin, or wait, do I have to do this? Pin both of us to the front so I can actually see him better? Is that possible that you do, or I have to do it? Because I'm using this new setup where I have a iPad projected back, and I'm looking at the camera on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
This school's gonna be both against them
Nick,
and against me.
can you put me and Chris as the pin
Yeah,
on
I'll
the
pin you
front?
guys.
And do I see it that way too?
I'm trying to find you because now you disappear.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
Do you see each other now, side by side?
No, I don't. I'm just
Does
gonna...
everyone else see them side by side? Because I see them side by side.
No.
Nobody sees them side by side.
Negative.
Pin to front, no?
Hold on, no, hold on.
Oh, there he is. He's there. Now you gotta do me.
Now do you guys see them?
Yes,
Yeah.
now I
Yes.
see him.
All
There we
right,
go.
there we go.
Yep.
Bro, where are you at now? That's a new area. Oh, that's your desk area.
So
Where
I
is
just
that?
set it up for today. I'm like you. I have everyone on a vibe board so I can see everyone. I have my lights. I feel like a real content creator.
Dude, you are a
Inspired-
content creator,
Inspired
man.
by you. I'm actually looking at the camera. It's great.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You know, you and I have been pushing each other on this social media game, and I love it. I watch your videos all the time. I'm like, damn, look at that. We even
Yeah.
got like we're using the same guy for our videos too now, right? At least
No,
parts
I
of it.
just I released a video today, got so much good feedback, and thank you for that. That's the importance of collaboration. Like most people think small and they're like, no, you can't use my guy. You said the opposite. You're like, hey, you want to use him? And I've been working with him. We were in LA last weekend, and he's great. And it's cool to just like collaborate and create content.
Yeah, I get super excited when I put two people together and they can actually do something.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a really important part of networking too, because a lot of times what people do is people just go straight into, here's my card, contact me. You know, it's a lot of like one-way energy, right? I get so excited. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. But I get so excited for people to, you know, meet and do something together. I'm like, man, I just want to find out your story so that I can put you with somebody else if it's not with me.
Exactly.
So-
I was at a seminar that heard about 2 weeks ago about leadership and growing. That's what it was all about, like giving, and helping other people out. Just give, and then it always comes back around.
Yeah, true. So give us a little bit of a background of yourself. Introduce yourself to us, because you know you do a lot of everything, and I feel like you're basically like, you know, the person that I'm walking side by side with, and I'm really excited about that, and that we've gelled so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Luna. I've been buying real estate in San Diego since 2016. I went to San Diego State. I graduated there, started a cell phone repair company, was making good money, but I knew I wanted to get out of the rat race. So I had buddies buying single family homes and converting them into rentals. So I started playing that game in 2016, scaled the portfolio to about 40 million assets under management. I owned half of that. prior interest rates going up. So, that value has decreased. But since then, I start selling off some of those assets and moving into multifamily in Pacific Beach here in San Diego. Next, I plan to do deals in Vegas, Phoenix, and doing more development in San Diego. So that's kind of my spiel, and I want to keep going. I feel like we're just getting started.
Yeah. And what else are you using now to help you? Because you got a podcast called The Come Up. I think it's a great name. You and I talked about it. I gave you some feedback. You're like, nah, forget what you said. I'm going with The Come Up. I love that you did that though.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, feedback's good, and I appreciate your feedback. But on The Come Up, I just kept hearing it. And I was like, that's a sign. It was a sign. And I think even Grant Cardone the other day like wrote something in his caption. It was like on the come up. So I just keep seeing it, and it's like when you see things, you just run with it.
Yeah. I was actually going to name my podcast something different too. Originally, I wanted that changed my life. I was just so connected to it. And then I was like, and then somebody said you should put your industry or whatever in the name of it to help you, to help it blow up faster. And I'm like, and after you shared, I was like, you know what? I'm going full in with my podcast as that changed my life too. So again, that's another thing that you inspired me to do. And I'm grateful for that. What else are you doing? What other tools are you using? What else are you doing to help, to grow yourself?
My whole life, I've been a solopreneur trying to do everything by myself. Just a lone wolf, like scared to give control away, having to manage my property, having to do like the construction, just a solo guy. Recently, I've brought in interns. I have a full-time property manager. I outsource all my construction, and basically I'm getting to this point where I want to build a real company in which I can step away from and it would still run itself. So my new thing is I'm just hiring interns from San Diego State. I no longer underwrite deals. I have all deals sent to them. They go through them, and if they look good, they'll bring them to me. What I want to focus on is top of the funnel, creating content, raising money, building awareness, and just my personal brand, because I think that's where my time is best spent right now in my career. Like you, I've been doing this for a while, and I think it is a natural progression, after year 5, 6, to just really focus on raising money, because I have the track record now. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just building out my team. Yeah,
I love it. Quick question from somebody in the group. And again, everybody here, if you have questions, raise your hand. I think it's going to be really valuable as you guys ask your questions and hear from Chris. So somebody said, why California?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I got into the game in 2016, it just made sense, because I like to go and see and touch and feel the asset, drive by it. These deals were in my backyard, and I would literally drive in a circle in the 92115, door knocking, cold calling, anything I could do to get a deal. And that's what helped jumpstart my career, is me being there, because I was a solopreneur trying to find these deals. As I scale out and look into different markets, I still think development in San Diego is good, because there is a housing crisis here. There's not a lot of homes. So government is very pro-development, which is good. Now, if I wanted to just, do the Grant Cardone thing and go and buy 100 units, then yes, I'd be looking in Vegas or Phoenix, because you can scale and buy more units there. And then there's no eviction protections and tenant protections. It just makes being a landlord in those states a little easier. So yeah, there's pros and cons to California. I still think there's great deals. You just got to look for them. And yeah.
Now, somebody said you got to put your mic a little bit closer.
Okay. How about now? Is that good?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Perfect. The Shure mics, they pick up just right there. They don't pick up all the other noises. And so otherwise you got to have a shotgun mic, like the one that I got going here.
You're inspiring me. This is my first time using it, but nice. Maybe next time.
Okay. Next time. So, okay. Underwriting California deals. Okay. This is something that we can also talk about too, is the difference between underwriting California deals versus, let's say, a red state where it's more landlord friendly and you don't have to underwrite perhaps some, if you're trying to kick somebody out, it could be like 6 months, 8 months to be able to get somebody out. Do you have to underwrite differently? Do you have your interns underwriting them differently?
We would add that cost in. There's the lawyer fees. Like right now, I'm evicting 2 tenants out of a property. They just decided they stopped wanting to pay rent. They don't want to pay any rent increases. So, I'm going through that process. And in our pro forma, we have the legal fees accounted for. Lost rent for it's been 3 months. So these are issues that we run into. I knew going into this that this could happen. Luckily, hopefully by the time June comes around, they'll be completely out. And I actually plan to flip this building and then roll the equity into another deal.
So also what I heard, a friend of mine told me in San Diego that he moved out of his apartment, $2,600 a month, and immediately they listed it for $4,400.
Yep.
Because, and that's why when you have, so there's the pros that I see here is that people don't want to lose their lease, so they're not going to mess it up, right? Because they got this, you have your rent increase cap every year, right? You can't just
10%.
go and say, oh, market rents is this, and I'm taking it there. So people don't want to lose that. If they lose it, now they got to go somewhere, and they're going to have to pay out way more than what they're paying. So people don't actually want to be evicted, right? So you'll have that sometimes. So I think that's also a plus. And the second thing is, when somebody leaves, usually it means there's a huge rent hike that's coming up for that apartment.
Huge. And that's where you create that new value because you can double rent sometimes. I'll usually go in there and throw new floors and remodel, throw in some stainless steel appliances and actually increase the value because I like my properties to be nice. Most of my student housing is all brand new remodel. So we're not slumlords by any means. We definitely like to make the units nice, but for making them nice, we definitely like to charge more money. It's a bit, at the end of the day, multifamily real estate is a business, and the business is to drive NOI to create new value.
Yeah. So those are the pros. I do want to highlight those because, word on the street and a lot of the gurus and stuff are just like, don't buy any blue states, only buy in red states. And it's like a thing that everyone just says now.
Yeah.
Right? They don't even think about anything else. They can't see the other side. So I was also like that. I was like, nope, no blue states, just, red states. And I'm still kind of in that direction, but I'm starting to see that there are still definitely opportunities. Doesn't matter what state you're in, red or blue, right?
Yeah, where I'm seeing the most opportunity, and me and my interns just spent the last 3 hours on this, is to build multiple ADUs. And for those of you who don't know what ADUs are, those are accessory dwelling units. So imagine a house and a granny flat in the backyard. I can build up to 8 granny flats, 3 stories high in certain parts. So you go from buying a single family home for called $1 million, and then I go and build 6 to 7 ADUs in the backyard, really max it out. That's where you won't have to cash in refi, and you'll be able to actually, just be neutral. And when you pay off your loans, you basically own the asset with cash flow, and you don't have to cash in refi. The new thing is cash in refinance these days.
Yeah, I actually just saw a video that you did talking about the cash in. I know you mentioned this to me before. I've never actually done a cash in refi, because I don't know, just lucky, I guess. But I'm always cashing out refining. Even if I have to pay more or interest rates go higher, there's always a cash out. So what's a cash in refi?
So I'm like you. I've always done cash out refinance, infinite returns, pull our equity out, all as well. I bought a deal June 2022, and we did the work. We added the remodels, but we weren't able to finish the ADU. We just did remodels. And at closing, I had to bring in, I think, $220,000. Part of me being a good operator is I covered that most of that cost, and my investors came in with a little more, maybe 20 or 30K, and I came in with the rest. And to get the loan done at a 5.5 interest rate, 10 years, that's what we had to come in with. The good news is we didn't have to force sell the asset. We didn't have to get rid of it, and we get to keep it for another 10 years and sell when we're ready. Was it fun? No, but it's part of the game. It was bad timing, and I'm just happy we got to keep the property.
Yeah. Now, that's so important. Number one thing is don't lose the asset, right? So even if you got to do a cash in, you got to do what you got to do. So, that's definitely, and so walk us through the emotional part of it too, because it's something completely different, right? You're like, oh man, you're in trouble. and now you got to refinance and get the rates locked in, and you got to cash in refi.
Yeah, so the emotional part of it was I felt like this wasn't a good investment, but like back in July 2022, it was a great, and it still is, but you kind of feel the pressure from your investors like, hey man, I thought you said this was a good deal, and it's like, these are my friends. So it's still 3 blocks from the beach. It is a good deal. We just need a little bit of time. We'll finish the ADU, convert the garage, and all of a sudden this thing's a slam dunk once we finish that. So, you know, it definitely just made me feel like, you know, like a lot of pressure from my investors, but they understand rates went up. I couldn't control that. And if anything, it was a learning lesson to stress test with higher interest rates on the refi. I just was not thinking this back in June 2022. I was just happy to close the deal. So
Yeah,
it's a learning.
Yeah, in an event that this was something like a much bigger deal, like let's say if it was like a 200 unit deal, and there are people struggling with that right now. That exact same scenario that you just shared, what was it like? How many units was that?
It was a small 5-unit deal, 3 blocks from the beach, about $500K a door. I paid $2.5 million. The loan on it ended up being $1.975 million. I was expecting like a $2.1 million loan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. I was on a call today on a UC Mercedes. Well, I'm actually not allowed to talk to it because I signed an NDA, but it was a really big deal.
Okay, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about bringing it to Grant.
Yeah. And we see it. There are some operators that are in deep trouble, right? I think the news came out the other day that there's an operator in Houston that lost deal after deal, foreclosure after foreclosure, and his whole empire is crumbling. And those are what happens there when you lose a deal. Okay, so just for some perspective for investors, and if you invest money into a deal, how important it is to save a deal. When a deal goes into foreclosure, all that down payment you put down on the property disappears. That means the investor's money is gone. Okay, and those were $150 million deals. Okay, and so it is a sad, it's sad, you know, it's sad that happened, right? Because and also kind of the Fed, like they caused this to happen. Like that could have been a great deal, right? People got in at, it was a great time, it was a great deal in the underwriting. Nobody, doesn't matter how experienced you are, could have underwrote conservative enough to the rate hike that they had, right? So a lot of people in interest rate exposures. Now that's going to happen. The other thing that happened is also a lot of sellers, you know, a lot of people or a lot of operators, they're in trouble, but they're not going to sell. You can't freaking sell, right? Like you're protecting the asset. You're doing what it takes. If you have to cash in refi, you will do that. So I don't think the bleeding that's happening right now is going to cause as big of a buying opportunity as everyone thinks. You know, I think this is going to come back fast. This is just my own opinion. And people that got in the deals and they're in trouble, they will do whatever it takes. They were creative enough to make the deal happen. They will do whatever it takes to keep the deal alive. And they're not going to sell it to you at a big discount, right? It doesn't even make sense. So all the sellers are holding off. Buyers think they can just undercut everybody. That's not realistic. That's not really what's going to happen. That's why people see, I think they said 77% less transactions in Q1 this year than last year. And it's not something to be afraid of. It's just something to show actually the resilience of real estate.
Yeah. I
Cool.
agree.
So, yeah,
and just operators who have good integrity and show up for their investors, you know, they'll do the right thing. Like we're in a mastermind with Robert Martinez, right? Most of the people in your audience probably know him, and he's doing the right thing. He calls it getting his deals to safety. So he's talking to these lenders and making things happen so that he is just safe and he does not lose investor capital. That's as syndicators, that's one thing we obviously never want to do. So that's what got me to lock in the 5.5 interest rate and just get this thing done. And now I know I'm safe for 10 years. I'll sell in year 5, maybe cash out refinance then, or just keep it forever for cash flow. So I just feel good about that. It's a weight off my shoulders. I still have one more deal to go, but we're getting there.
Yeah. And some people can't even refi right now. They got to just wait it out. You got to let the deal season. So you actually can't even go through a refi. Some people can't go through a refi.
Yep.
Right. So there's a lot of learning lessons that's happening during this time. And it's important that either we capitalize on getting some great deals in what's happening in today's market, or we learn so that we can capitalize on the next time that this happens. I believe personally, and I don't know where I heard this, but I strongly believe in this, which is in each one of our lifetimes, there will be 4 times in which we will get to invest or do a deal that's going to drastically change our life, right? More millionaires are made in real estate and during those times. That's when it's going to happen. So you either want to learn everything you can in this cycle right now, if you're not ready, so that you can capitalize on the next one. You can start to prepare yourself. That's when a whole ton of money is going to be made. So what do you think about that?
I think that's the attitude you need. You need to just be ready to strike and stay educated. I think stay around the people who are doing deals. And that's what you and I have done, I feel like, very well. And we follow the money. We see what the bigger guys are doing, and having them around us allows us to like move more confidently. Possibly, say a deal comes to market, to be able to talk to that broker and know that language. And it's just, I always tell people, you want to get educated first before you jump into any of these deals.
Yeah.
You want to have a sense of knowingness on what exactly it is you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about Vegas for a second. So you made a video today on Vegas.
I did.
It was a dope video. It was an awesome video. I also have a video on Vegas that's coming out. Super excited. Vegas, I want to just share my take on what's going on in Vegas. Okay. It is a place that everybody knows. And it's very interesting that the only people buying these apartment deals in Vegas is either mom pops or institutions. There's no syndicators in there syndicating deals right now. There's about $1 billion in Texas. And there's about another billion. What am I saying? Billion. There's a whole ton in Texas and a whole ton in Florida and these states where everybody's competing. Sellers are not feeling anything. They're just like, yeah, well, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So that's constantly happening. But in Vegas, I think it's like a gem. It's like the secret that's now like, I want to say I'm one of the bigger like people that talk about it a lot and bring attention to it, because there's so much money being invested in there. If you follow money and you follow migration, like you're going to make money there. On top of that, like you have affordable living with world-class amenities. When people recognize, that's why the migration's coming to Vegas. 96,000 people moving in last year, right? People are moving there because, dude, affordable rents, world-class amenities, right? You may not have the beach, but you do have world-class amenities here, and it's only going to catch up, right? When you have great amenities, the surrounding living around there, the quality of life is going to be better, and you're going to have to pay more to live there. So that is what I think is happening in Vegas. Also, specifically where we're looking in the whole downtown Fremont art district area, I think that place is on the come up. It's on the come up, right? It's on the come up, which means that when you exit this deal, there's a good chance that the cap rates will be compressed because of the demand, because of the high demand there and the location. Cap rates will be compressed. Now, some place like, let's say Houston, right? Houston's kind of just like this. It just goes up and down, very, very predictable properties. You put some work in here, you increase the value of the property. All you got to do is make sure that the value that you increase in this property, the rents that you've increased and the income you made is more than the increase in cap rate, because you just got to underwrite every deal with 1.5 to 2 cap rate on the exit. When you increase the cap rate, the value comes down. So it actually eats a little bit into the work that you did. So you just got to make sure that outpaces it. So it's a very predictable market that kind of just does that. And Vegas is kind of the opposite, right? It's got this opportunity to just shoot sky high. What do you think about what I just said right there and about Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said. One thing that sticks out to me about Vegas is when people think of it, they think it's just the strip and that's it, right? That's how I thought of it in my 20s. as you go there and you drive around, you realize there's Henderson, there is parts of the north and south, and all these different little pockets. And I just like that. I mean, we looked at 193 unit there, and like we could have took that down. I felt good
We
about
could have.
the
We
deal.
could have.
And
We didn't win it, but it's still in contract, so maybe we'll still come back around.
we call this hanging around the rim. We're just
Yeah.
waiting to grab that rebound and score. So yeah, I like the little areas around it. Summerlin is more institutional. It's a little harder to break into that market right now at this stage of our career.
Yeah.
But there's deals floating around, and I like the scalability of it. And lastly, what I'll say is, with Vegas, it used to be kind of a transit town. People would come there, live there for a few years, and then dip out. Now people live there to live there because California is so, California is doing California, so everyone's migrating to Nevada and Phoenix or Florida. So I like Vegas. I'm bullish on Vegas.
Awesome. Cool. So that's what we'll say about Vegas. Let's see if there's any questions here. You guys make me want to go back to Manhattan. I don't know about going to Manhattan. That whole northeast area, there's a whole I just feel like the energy, even when I was there, I grew up there, I lived there. It's all just like going from A to B, all you do is work, and then everybody's kind of pissed off. There's a lot of rage. We're still back in war or something like that. Everybody's got war built into them. And as you move out towards, central, west, whatever, everyone kind of chills out a lot more. So I don't know about going back to Manhattan.
Yeah. The Sun Belts, right? That's the smiley face of America. That's where you want to invest.
Smiley face. That's right. That's funny. Someone says, I live here. Don't invest here. All right. So let's if there's no questions on the multifamily side right now, let's go into social media. So let's go into some social media. And what are you doing now? I know you're on so many different things. What are you doing? What's your daily routine? What's your practice? What do you do?
My commitment is to post once a day, and I've been doing that for maybe a month and a half, and it's crazy. I'm seeing results. People, I was at Ryan Pineda's event last week, and people come up to me. They're like, "Hey, I've been seeing your content." I'm like, "Really? That's cool." So it's affirming what I'm doing. But to answer your question, what am I doing? I'm doing podcast. We are interviewing anyone who has stuff to talk about: spirituality, relationships, fitness, financials. I'm starting to do podcasts to just get more awareness. I'm going big on YouTube because over and over again, I just hear all the big guys say that's where they really started to get attention and get these new eyeballs. We have our communities, and those are great, and we're going to nourish them and continue that. But YouTube is how you reach that new person who doesn't know you. So I'm going big on YouTube. That's my favorite, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah. So me too. I am now focusing on YouTube as well. It's a whole different beast than Instagram, than LinkedIn, than all of that. It's we got our training wheels in Instagram and we did it and we practiced it, and we still got our shorts out there, but YouTube is the place that we want to dominate. So actually next Monday, I'm going to bring somebody hopefully on to speak about YouTube, and you guys probably know who he is, but really excited for that. So what are you doing in YouTube? What's your process? Because YouTube is a hard barrier to break in.
Yeah, so I was at an event last week in Hollywood, and Neil Patel said, this is just some quick advice I got from him that I recall. He said, when you post a video, you have 24 to 48 hours to just promote. It's almost like, when you post on Instagram, you have that first hour to get comments and likes and shares.
Yep.
Same thing with YouTube. He was saying, and this guy, Neil Patel, has big followings, and I could tell he knew his stuff. He said that first 24 to 48 hours, send it on email, send it via text, really just promote. So you trick the algorithm or Google and YouTube to basically send it out to more people. So there's that. There's obviously the thumbnail to catch people's attention so they actually click on it. People use very clickbaity titles like, "Is this conference a scam?" Question. Blah, blah, blah. I'll probably use that one for your conference. Is Alex? Yeah, something like that.
Is Alex a big scam?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll make one for you too.
Exactly. Make it about my triceps though. Um, and then obviously the watch through. So when people land on your content, are they clicking out after 1 minute, 5 minutes? Are they watching it through and then keeping them on the platform? So instead of hopping off YouTube, are they staying on the platform and watching another video of yours? So those are the three things that I'm focused on. And then I'm just focusing on, instead of just hopping on there and like ranting like Gary Vee would back in the day when he had Wine Library TV, I'm actually using more editing to keep people more engaged. Jose is doing that for you and and I could just tell with the feedback that people really like that. It's hard for them to click away because they're actually engaged. And then lastly, I'm creating a storyline. So like I have an overall theme, and then I'll mention the theme in the beginning, like what question I'm answering, and then I'll go through the video moving towards answering that question, and then I'll have a call to action in the middle, and then that's it. So
So the YouTube, I mean, this is my question because, you know, I'm going through it. I've always done videos just off the cuff. Like, I'm just like, one take. I'm not going to take that much longer to do it. And I'm starting to find that, you know, taking the time to do it, you know, and it really was with Ever and her dad when they came here, I was like, dude, this 45-second video that you're trying to make, we did like 50 shoots, like multiple shoots of the same shot. And then like, okay, now we're going here. Now we're going here. It took like half a day just to make a 45-second video. I was like, wow, that's, you know, and that's why she has so much engagement. Her videos actually look like a little story, and it's pretty cool. So are you also doing that, or do you like, how are you doing yours? Like, do you have do you write a script? How do you do it?
Okay. So my innate thought is, you know, I wish I can just go off the cuff and be that good. Like say Grant, right? Grant has that audience and he can just go off the cuff and deliver value. And he spent his whole life traveling across the US, becoming a public speaker and really like resonating with people. I don't feel I'm there yet. So out of respect for the audience, what I'm doing now is I'm actually just setting the storyline, and I'm actually planning out what I'm going to say, and I'm sticking to it. And maybe here and there I'll throw in some random one-liners, or I'll be funny, or I'll be, just kind of let loose. But I'm more or less sticking to a script until I build a following. And then from there, maybe I'll let loose a little bit and kind of just go off the cuff. I just don't feel I'm there yet.
Dude, that's amazing. So again, you're an inspiration and a permission also for me to kind of, do the same thing. So how do you do it? Do you actually spend time writing this script? I mean, I feel like I don't even have the time or the patience to write a script like that.
Yeah. So far I haven't. Jose has kind of taken charge of that, where I'll tell him, hey, like I want to do a video about Malibu since we'll be in Hollywood, and we'll say, we'll script a video. So what we filmed last week was like, hey, like I started with nothing. I was in the back of, living in my dorm, and I just decided to go in on real estate, and I always knew I'd end up being here. So then like we start the video in Malibu on me, like by the beach, talking about like, it's attainable. You have to go and see it. And it's inspirational, but also like practical. And we add some real estate, like it's geared towards real estate, but also like adding motivation so we can go wider and attract like more people top of the funnel. And then like, as they come into like my ecosystem and like what I'm doing, they see that I do real estate.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to appeal to a lot of people and go wide on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah. So I got to make sure Jose does that thing for me too.
Absolutely.
Write out the script. He always does. He's always like, okay, I'm going to ask you this question. This is how I'm going to shoot it. Then I'm going to send my drone up in the air and do this. I'm like, all right, you figure all that part out. And I think it's really, really important for anybody that's trying to start, to find somebody that's going to be able to do that for you. You got to seek out this talent, because if you're trying to figure out all that, you're trying to write the script, figure out how the camera shot is going to be, like that is too much, right? You will burn out so fast. What is your main role? Your main role is just like, all right, I'm just going to be in front of the camera and I'm just going to talk. I'm going to read this script.
Exactly. Like at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but we're an actor, and Jose is the producer and he is the videographer, and he creates the story. He adds in the cool effects and the emotion, and he tells the story. We are the actor and we're the main character, and we have to just be our most authentic self, which that's what I have trouble doing the most, is being my most authentic self, but also like having this script I have to go with. So I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Do you write out the script, or does he write out the script, or you guys
He's
work together?
He's wrote out the script, and on set, maybe I'll change something. I'll be like, hey, that doesn't feel right, or that, that wording is weird, or let's add in something about cash flow or cap rates or whatever.
Yeah. Is there a teleprompter that you guys use as well?
No, so we use, I think it's called Notion. It's an app.
Mhm.
It's called Notion, Notion. I'm sure he'll get you set up in there, and you can go back and forth and edit the script as the week progresses. So when it's time to film on Thursday or Friday, you have something to go off of.
Okay, awesome. So you memorize the script?
Not really. We'll take a few takes, and he's a good editor. So if it sometimes I'll get it first take, and he'll be like, "Man, you're really getting this." And then sometimes I'll be there all day, like I can't get it. What's going on? Like it'll be like the end of the day, and I'll just be over it. I'll be like, "Jose, let's try again tomorrow."
Okay, that's great. So anybody have questions? Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, what's your YouTube channel?
So I sent a link to my latest video that I just posted today. That's the first one Jose did for us, did for me. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. It actually takes place in Vegas too.
Sweet. So yeah, everybody put that on there. Yes. And JJ's here. He is a 15-year-old that is homeschooled, and he's going to be taking over the management. 17. Sorry, JJ. He's 17, and he's going to be taking over the management of my YouTube.
I respect that, man. I love how you are just bringing in all these people they can learn, but also they bring value. And I feel like you're a master connector, and like you're really good at like giving people the freedom to do creative things and to help out however they fit in your community. So you're inspiring me now.
And I love working with teens. They're smarter than we are in terms of these things.
Yes.
They are way smarter than us. Just like, you got to outsource, and you got to give. And so JJ, if you're available next Monday, I would love for you to be on this call with me, and you can lead this, Nick. So Nick led this call, I think 2 weeks ago, and his mom is so proud of it. So proud of him. She was sending this video to everybody of him leading this call in front of everyone, talking about marketing,
Wow.
And she even sent it to his doctor. It was pretty funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's just the fulfillment of seeing a teen step into something that's just like so big, that adults would shit their pants being a part of. So, okay. We're going to start to kind of just go into the Q&A section. I just have to ask you also, fitness and health wise. Okay. You're like, what do you do? Because you're just super fit, and I aspire for that. Do you eat crap, or you don't eat crap? How do you eat, and how do you work out?
So a little bit of it is genetics. I'm half Filipino, and since I'm half Filipino, I have a really high metabolism. So it allows me to eat what I want. But, I actually was really skinny just back in like October or September of 2022. And then I made a commitment. I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, man, I've lost a lot of weight, because I was doing like triathlon training, previous 2020, 2021. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to put on some muscle. So I worked out like nonstop, October, November, December, put back the weight. And now I'm just maintaining. But, I eat pretty healthy. I'll have, breakfast every morning, a light lunch, and then a bigger dinner. But, I like my sweets too. So I'll have some ice cream. Yeah, I'm gonna have ice cream sandwich after this.
Bro, it sounds like I eat like that as well, but I guess I need that Filipino gene in me, right? We're kind of close. Are Filipinos just like Chinese that moved down?
Something like that. I think we have more Spaniard in us from when Spain took over the Philippines. But wait, what's your goal? Are you trying to
So my goal right now is also, I'm trying to cut down like 30 pounds and then build back the muscle part. Right. So it's, it's a work in progress right now. I just
Yeah.
downed a bag of chips last night. And so, but that was the first bag of chips in a really long time. My wife just got her period and she bought a whole freaking cabinet of chips and ice cream. I was like, yo, what are you doing? But,
That's
now that it's there, somebody's got to eat it.
Well, that's what I'm all about, man. Expanding your square. So you have the spirituality, fitness, relationships, and financials. So just expand your square, expand all sides equally. Don't forget about your fitness. Otherwise, you end up with what? Not a square. You end up with like a weird rhomboid or like a triangle or something. So have a square. Yeah, rectangle.
What's your workout routine look like? Do you work out every day?
Yeah, 5 days a week. I do some yoga once a week, but I'll do chest try. So the pushing of the chest and the try together, you're kind of hitting both every movement you do. Then I'll do a back by day, which is pulling mechanism. You're pulling and then you're hitting the biceps. And then I'll do a shoulder day and then a leg day. And on shoulder days, sometimes I'll add in arms. So it'll be shoulder and arms. And I'll just repeat that. If anything, I try and sprinkle in some abs every other day too.
Okay. So anybody have any questions? Let's open it up for questions. Also, after this section right here of Q&A, we will be doing a breakout room where everybody gets to go out and you get to meet somebody. All right. And I know this is uncomfortable for a lot of people. So many people dip after I say, okay, now it's time for the networking part. They're like, oh God, I can't do it, or I'm not on camera or whatever. And the people that do stay though, tell me amazing things of the people that they met, right? Like your net worth is your network. That means you need to build your network. Here's an opportunity to do so. Like increase your net worth right now. Increase your net worth tonight by meeting one new person, 2 new people, a couple new people. You never know what could happen. It could be another Chris Luna. It could be your Chris Luna.
Yep,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So Q&As, anybody want to ask questions for Chris about multifamily, social media, or his health stuff, his physique?
Someone said, what are your thoughts on Section 8? I had a smoking deal in New Orleans just about 3 weeks ago, and it was Section 8, seller finance, like crazy returns. Like I would have done this deal in a heartbeat until I found out at the very end it was Section 8. And the reason why is I'm okay with Section 8, just not at this stage of my career. I don't think I personally want to deal with potentially any type of headaches. I'm looking for just more stable assets, maybe some value add here and there. If I was earlier in my career, year 1 or 2, I think I'd be a little more looking for that cash flow. But the last thing with Section 8 is who do you sell to on the exit? So when I'm buying properties, I'm always identifying who is the end buyer. Is it Blackstone? Is it Alex? Is it, who's going to buy this asset? And with Section 8, you just have a smaller pool, meaning how do you really exit at that premium price?
Yeah. And you're going to get the people that are kind of looking, that are in the year 1, year 2, a lot more problematic for all of that across the board. So, okay. That's a great answer. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, what about mobile homes? I've never done mobile homes, but I think they could be lucrative if you know what you're doing, but I have no experience with those.
Yeah. What about the low income housing, the light tech?
I've never heard of that.
So it's kind of like you do some, it's low income, and then it's usually below market rents, and you can do some stuff to it and then comes out, right, Foti? I think that's what it means. Why don't you guys come off mute, guys? Somebody go
Ian has
ask questions, raise your hands. Let's have like interaction. Here we go.
My name's Larry Sager. I'm out of Austin, Texas. Nice to meet you guys. Alex, met you in the summit in Miami. That was a blast. Yes. Chris, when I moved to San Diego, of course, everybody has to have, you got to live in PB. That's where you are.
That's my units are. Nice.
Yeah.
I have units on Hornblende. That's funny.
Oh, do you? Yeah. That's the first place I lived there. So guys, I got a couple questions. One is, what was your spirituality 4 points again, or your 4 points to your square again? Spirituality, fitness, what?
Financials and relationships.
Relationships.
So friends, significant other, relationship with yourself.
Sure.
Yep.
So my question is this, and I posed this a little bit to a few folks. So I've been in healthcare pretty much most of my career, 20 years, and selling implants for spine surgery and that sort of thing. So I'm completely new to this. Before I ever knew who Grant Cardone was, before I ever went to that summit, I'm like, man, I know all these surgeons across the country. How do I go? A lot of these guys have wealth. How do I go get that money, put it into an asset such as multifamily and utilize that? I've recently been defrauded by 2 of my spine partners. It's not funny, but I'm having to live with it and figure some things out. So I'm like, man, I'm going to pivot right now. So I'm thinking a couple things. I've got a SEP IRA. I'm thinking about redirecting, self-directing that into some real estate. And then the other thing I'm thinking is, man, maybe the way for me to get really involved in this is to try to work with a couple guys and raise money, raise capital for some deals. So I'm really like here trying to learn, really wanting to put forth effort though, and make something happen.
Yeah, that's
Curious
awesome.
what-
That
Yeah.
that's awesome that you're well connected with a network like that, because I know that's some of the best places to raise money is groups of doctors, engineers, chiropractors, and it sounds like those are some of your buddies and friends. So if you can learn the game, from Alex or anywhere online, and you appear confident and know the game, then you can go and pitch these deals, raise money, and then start doing syndication. So I think that's great. I support that 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what you definitely want to do, and I'll answer that, and I say this all the time, is you got to identify people that you gel with, that you can team with. Because I literally today, there was a post in, I don't know which WhatsApp group, but they're like, does anybody have an attorney that can help us break our GP team apart? The general partnership team apart? That's the nightmare right there. The
Yeah.
nightmare is that you jumped into a deal, you didn't really vet the people that you're around, and then the breakup, because that breakup is going to cause a ripple across the whole property, and all the innocent limited partners that are involved will also get the backlash of that, right? They'll be like innocent bystanders. So, I would just, while you're learning right now, just be around the right people, whoever you feel like, oh, I really like hearing and listening to what they're doing, and follow some of their deals, look at their track record, things like that. And then you pick, all right, hey, Chris, I'll come and raise money for your next deal. I really like what you've been doing. I like where you're investing into. I like your strategy. I like you as a person. So let's go do a deal together. Because I know with absolute certainty, because of, and me and Chris have known each other not for a very long time, but I know that I would want to do a deal with Chris. I know that we would want to go into business together and we would gel really well. So take your time to find that as well, right? And then if you have not invested into real estate, multifamily, if you're going to raise capital, I would say you want to get yourself into a position of, I'm an investor. You got to have invested. Otherwise, you can't. How are you going to raise capital if you don't even do it yourself, right? So,
Right. So
would
to
be the
that,
first
Alex, do you think that the self-directing money out of a SEP into real estate? I mean, nobody can have a crystal ball, right? But I mean, I'm kind of freaked out with the dollar right now, what's happening in our world. And it's like, I feel like I trust that asset more than I do, these stocks and mutual funds.
Yeah, I would 100%. Once you learn this game, once you learn real estate, once you've been in it and seen some up and down markets and just see the resilience and how awesome real estate is, you're going to want to stay in real estate. Like, again, more millionaires are made in real estate than anything else. And I bet you, and I can even probably say a lot of those millionaires are accidental millionaires. They just bought real estate and sat on it for a while, and all of a sudden their property's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
Buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate.
Exactly. Look at it long term. Okay, so JJ, go ahead.
So So we were talking on the team call and asking around about your daily schedule and time management. How do you manage your time day to day?
That's you, Chris.
Oh, that's me. You know, I could probably do a better job at that. I would say I do have these set Zoom calls, and I have a schedule when I'm teaching my interns Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But you know, as you become more successful, the good and the bad is you get more freedom. Like I work from home, I don't really leave much, and it's great. The problem is sometimes the freedom of the schedule allows just for too much for me to like let time go by. So I would say if I could do a better job at it, it would just be by using a calendar and basically time block every stamp of the day and make sure there's no blank space in that calendar all day. I don't, that'd be my answer to that. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I literally, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Nice. I
Like,
like that.
if it's not on my calendar, it just does not happen because my schedule is really tight. And I've purposely put myself into this position. Do I need to be doing this? No, I don't. I don't need to be on all these calls. I could be in Peru, jamming out, playing on the guitar, sitting around the fire, singing songs all day and be completely fine. So why do I even throw myself in here? That's the question, right? And it's about this mission that I'm on. It's a purpose that I want, the impact I want to make in people's lives. And that's why I'm doing it. I don't have to do these things. And I know Chris is too. He's got enough real estate and all this stuff that he doesn't have to do all this either. Right. So it's a choice to do it. And then to manage it, we just, you know, we learn as we go. I'll learn from Chris. Chris will learn from me. And because we're on the come up together.
Yeah. And
If I get advice, if Grant Cardone tells me how he does his calendar, it won't really support me that well. Because I'm not flying on a private jet to go places. There's a lot of time in which I will waste in that time frame.
Yep, absolutely. You're tapping into your potential. And I like that keyword you had there. I was thinking the same thing. Impact. You're trying to make an impact. So to make an impact, you gotta be doing things daily to move yourself forward.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Ryan, go ahead.
Hey guys. Hey Chris. Hope you
Hey,
guys are
what's
doing
up, Ryan?
good. What's going on? Good to see you on here. Yeah, I definitely like the San Diego market. I'm definitely very curious about the ADUs out there. I saw them as I was leaving San Diego. I saw, you know, they passed the law for ADUs. I'm shocked to hear that you're able to put that many on some of those properties. And now, yeah, California is looking a lot more interesting. I mean, it's about getting multiple on one property. And here in Florida, even our larger, we've got some big parcels here and some, like Jupiter Farms and things like that where I'm at. And they limit the number of those units. I think it's because they're looking for so much extra housing out there in California, I guess. And there's such and soon to be Florida. I mean, it's just, Florida's become the new California, or, other than the crazy, stuff that you guys do out there in California that, but I mean, there's a lot of people moving here and it's changing so fast. So I'm just wondering, outside of that, as Florida changes to be like California in terms of population, I guess you see like development projects being another way, or what else outside of, I guess that it sounds like almost like just starting fresh with your rents, like doubling them, in order to get that value from some of these deals, because it's, these deals are expensive here in Florida as well. Any other suggestions on how to squeeze value out of deals?
I mean, you kind of hit it nail on the head there with these with the way interest rates are and sellers just not being market sellers. It's really hard to make money in multifamily right now. That's just what I have found. So that's why I've kind of switched my mindset to development, because I know what I can build for, and then California's pro building. And the one downside I would say, because we got to look at the pros and the cons, is the plans and permits take 12 to 18 months for what I'm trying to do for multiple ADUs. If I'm just going to convert a garage or build a detached ADU, maybe it's 5 or 6 months. That was my San Diego State business model. And that's much quicker. But if you want to build multiple ADUs, I'm hearing 12 to 18 months, because there's a new system and different hoops you need to jump through with the city of San Diego. So that's just something, food for thought. But at the end of those 2 years, you're all done. You got a really cool asset, and it beats buying something, going in at a 3.5 cap in PB, like what I had been doing in the past.
Okay. Yeah. And there is, so I'm actually looking at a place for like what I'm going to put out here. And Alex knows it's this, because I looked at a lot of different ADU type units. You might want to check out Able Nooks. They're freaking awesome.
What is it called?
They're super sleek, and they're super attractive. And we went and visited their facility over in Tampa. You can literally build them in Able Nook, ABLENOOK. And they are super, think Tesla meets, tiny homes. And they can be off grid. And really, really cool. So, I think it'd be really appealing. I think people, if you wanted to like rent them out in the back, it's like one of those really it's a curiosity factor. People would, if you want to do like rentals, like short-term rentals or things like that, I think it would be really appealing for people over there in that market.
That's awesome. I love that idea. And I think the only downside that I'd probably have to look into would be on the permanent debt. If you're trying to refinance, if a lender will look at these type of units like that are pre-assembled, if they'll give you the correct value. Other than that, I love it.
I don't think they will. So they're not.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the value on the back end. So again, this is a great conversation because you got to look at on the exit, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people look at, oh, let me just save some money, save some time here, but you got to look at everything on the exit as well. So that's a good point, Chris.
Yeah.
Where it could work though is like, say you want to develop a site and it's just like a house plus some land. Maybe you throw it back there while you entitle the land to build something much bigger, and then you move it, to your next site, demolish the main house, and then go and build your 32 units. So could work on something like that maybe.
All right. So
Good seeing you, Ryan.
Hawk. Thanks. Good seeing you, Billy.
So Hawk, go ahead, and then Ian, just make sure these questions are laser because we are running out of time on the Q&As. So go ahead, Hawk.
Hey, Luna, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? You got the cigar tonight?
Man, absolutely, man. Spoken to Arturo Fuente, Don Carlos, out of shop, the man's 80th, one of the special edition ones you can't find.
I love it. So, love it. How you?
Good, man. Good. I'm gonna keep this laser focused. So I'm in the DMV area. I got some brothers on here in the DMV area. David, what's up, brother? In our area, it's a blue state, DMV. We're trying to figure out, like how to find our first deal. Was looking at like 50 and above, but now I'm looking like smaller, like maybe 10 to 20, maybe even 30 units. How do you make the transition from following that advice of like red states versus blue states and how to be successful in a blue state, in a time like this where the market is kind of, a little shaky and that there's some uncertainty?
Would you consider going to a red state?
No, absolutely. That's the strategy now, but I definitely want to, like when you said your first time buying a deal, you want to be able to touch it, be able to walk it and be close to it. So what do you advise?
That's a good point. Maybe look into like adding some extra padding into the deal. I'm sure you're aware of this, but maybe like a seller finance deal where you you have interest only 5 years, like you're going to be good in the next 5 years. At some point, you'll be fine to refinance. So something like that could be very beneficial to anyone in the audience. Seller finance is a great way to get deals done these days. What else? Maybe just off-market deals, because off-market deals aren't going to get bid up, so you can get better deals. And just looking for extra padding so you don't have to just overpay for these assets, because these sellers just aren't realistic, right? It seems like sellers are just kind of expecting this to be early 2022 still and pricing to just be what they want, but it's not. So I would just say you got to get a better deal, right? Deal, debt, equity, just chase a really good deal to pad yourself if anything goes wrong and you have to deal with evictions and that type of stuff.
Well, yeah, and then on that point, property management. How do you handle those property management activities in operation when you have so small units and you have to squeeze as much money out of these deals as possible, smaller deals?
So I'm fortunate because I have I own a management company. So we control the assets pretty well. I'm really tight with my property manager. As far as dealing with a third party, management company. I'm not there yet because all my stuff is in San Diego. But I mean, it's a good valid point. You got to make sure that the manager is doing a good job, and then it maybe even becomes your job as an asset manager to manage the property manager to make sure you're hitting all your goals for your investors. So I think it actually comes down to the asset manager staying on the property manager.
Yeah.
All right, man. Cool. Thanks, Lona. Appreciate it, brother.
Good seeing you, man. Good seeing you.
Ian, go ahead, brother.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Glad to be here. So, quick question: with you moving to new markets, what tips or tricks do you have for us to identify and research these new markets?
To research the markets?
Yes.
I mean, prime example, I knew I wanted to get into Vegas, and I called Alex. We were talking about it, and just he's boots on the ground. He understands it. And tapping into anyone else who lives in that market. Obviously, the broker is going to be a really good resource for you. Just getting in good. Say you want to go to Scottsdale, just call some of those guys and just get on their radar. Did that answer your question? Yes, for just ways to.
Yeah, because I'm here in Nashville. I'm trying to really understand this market well. So I wanted to see what you thought of how to research a market so I can apply that here for me.
Got it. Like a lot of infos in the OMs. I think a lot of people just skip to the number section. But if you read the like what's happening, what's booming, what's going on in the area, is there positive net migration? But the brokers, obviously, they're salesmen, so you got to make sure they'll tell you whatever you want to hear, right? But I would just talk to the brokers. They're really going to be all the data you need, and maybe someone who's doing deals in that market. Just pick their brain, go fly into Nashville. I got some guys out there, link up with them, go walk some deals, and that's another thing is when you go and walk deals, walk it at night, walk it during the day. Look to see, are there cars there during the day? Do people work? I like going to the real estate, so just go there and be there. And if you can't make it there, maybe hop on Google Earth and see what it looks like, and look for the Starbucks, look for the Trader Joe's, look for just things happening there, right? So yeah.
I'm here, man. I'm here in Nashville, baby.
Oh, boom! There you go. You're already there. My bad.
Okay, awesome. So as we wrap up this deal, this call today, thanks, Chris. Like, I appreciate you hopping on, and I knew this was going to be fun, just having you on. We're just kind of chit chatting and shooting the shit.
It's been great.
And
Thanks
you
for having
provided
me.
a lot of value for people. Like I think you are a great resource. How do people contact you? I'm also going to be putting your Instagram, your podcast, and your YouTube channel on the email that goes out for this call, and so people can contact you there. But what's your preferred? Is it Instagram? Do you want people to message you on Instagram? What?
Yeah, Instagram's the easiest because I'm on it often. It's just Chris, CHRISJ.Luna. And yeah, just shoot me a DM, shoot me a follow. I'll follow you back. Would love to stay in contact with all of you. And you guys are in great hands. This Legends thing is just growing, and it's awesome to see. You guys had this awesome community. Thank you for letting me stop by today and asking all these questions. It's been great. I never do these, so this is actually motivation for me.
Oh, we got to do more of this. We should start a
Absolutely.
show together.
Wow, that could be the move. You know what? No, I'll tell you.
Podcast.
Yeah. Well, podcast. There we go.
Podcast, there
So
we go.
here's for everybody that's on this call right now, we are about to move into the networking section. Okay, so we're gonna break you out into different rooms, and also, like what Chris is doing, take a picture of what's going on here, what you see, tag myself, tag Chris in here so that we know who you are and we want to get connected with you. You tag us, then we will tag you back, we'll follow you, and now we can be officially friends on Instagram. And then we will get to be in interaction more, right? People that tag me ends up being in relationship with me, and we talk, we DM back and forth, we end up on these calls, you become more comfortable on these calls to speak, and then we speak to each other, and then now we build a relationship. So this is the way to do it. If you're here and you want to create some relationships with Chris and myself, just, those of you guys that are new, tag us. Mine is my name right there, right next to on the name at the bottom. So you can just tag me on Instagram. You can tag Chris Luna on Instagram, and it gives us it gets us to know who you are, right? Because they'll show up on our DM saying this person tagged you here. I'm like, oh, who's this person? So we're not like super big where we don't check our Instagram at all. We always check our own Instagrams. So yeah, and we're all about relationships. He's got that one part in his box, and in Legends, we always talk about relationships. So okay, before we break out, okay, before everyone starts hopping off, Nick, can you just put in the chat my virtual conference, my virtual summit coming up on April 20th? It is awesome. Chris is also going to be on there. So make sure you at least register. All the tickets are free. Okay, so it's free to join. There are special like gifts that are given out to everyone that is a VIP. It's super cheap, but there's courses, there's discounts to things. There's live Q&As with Vina, with Robert, with Brad Selmrock. Like there's just going to be a lot of extra bonuses that they will offer for anybody that is a VIP on there. So yeah, check it out. legendsimpactsummit.com. It's my first summit. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to throw a summit, put a stage in which I honor all the people that have really made an impact in my life. Okay, so even though Chris and I knew each other very shortly, I feel like we are bros, and I want to showcase him and just how much he does mean to me as well. All right, so yeah, everybody, there's going to be great tools, everything from spirituality to financials to, you know, relationships. 2 relationship coaches will be on, 3 relationship coaches that have taught me so much and helped me be in one of the most loving relationship I can even dream of. So that's all going to be there. Okay. So Nick, can you break everybody out into, let's do 5 people per room. And Chris, you can either hang here or you can jump into any room. It's up to you.
This is my first time doing this. I'll definitely hang here and meet some people. It's cool.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Nick.
All right, the rooms are open.
Roommate.
By recording.
By recording.